Hi again. We are here at the Given Women's Forum 2022, and I am Samantha Kelly. And currently the forum is starting to wrap up, which is very sad. But what I love about this forum is it's a launching pad. The women are going to go forth from here back to their homes all over the world, empowered to activate their new initiatives, which is super exciting. When I left Given, I was just so inspired to step into the unknown of launching a nonprofit and all that entailed, but also just inspired to also receive and rest for a bit, to really receive in a deeper way what God was calling me to process all that I'd learned, and then to step forward in freedom. And helping me in that process was my mentor. And so today we have a Given mentor with us. And she is going to be walking with young women for the next year to help them launch their initiatives. So I would love you just to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do professionally, and then how you ended up here at Given.
My name is Darilyn Bixenman. I am a Catholic psychotherapist, and I'm in private practice, and I serve women only in the areas, especially in anxiety, depression, and trauma work.
So thank you for the ways that you journey with women generally, but also are journeying with women this week. This is your first Given.
Yes.
How has it been? What have you been experiencing? What have you been noticing?
Yes. Well, I have just been observing keenly, because that's what I do as a therapist. The way in which, first it was just the mentors that were here, and how we, in our formation, we were trained really well, and what we and everybody, the gifts that they had to offer, and the humility in which we were all like, wow, we get to then mentor these young women, and what a privilege and an honor, especially for me, to just be walking alongside these women for the next year. So, yeah.
That's incredible. Now, in your field, I would consider you just a beautiful Catholic female leader to all of the women that you work with, a leader here. How would you define Catholic female leadership? And then how do you seek to live that out both professionally in your practice, your personal life, and then also here as a mentor?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think one of the things that I really appreciate about Given is that it's not a top-down approach. It's not a bunch of women that have experience and wisdom up here and all these younger women down here, and I know how to live your life better than you do. And that's the way that I think a Catholic leader should be, is to walk alongside women and to listen to their story in order to help them move forward in the direction that they need to move forward. And that's the therapeutic approach that I have in my practice.
So, there's a lot of, you work with young women, but there's a lot of women here in their 20s. What advice would you give a 25-year-old woman, or maybe even your 25-year-old self? If you were to leave them with just a tidbit of advice, what would you say?
I think one of the biggest things that I would tell my 25-year-old self, and this is some affirmation, is that thank you so much for not stopping going to Mass. Despite I kind of strayed a little bit away, but I never stopped going to church. And so I think the graces that I received from doing that, even if that was the only thing that I was doing, I would just really tell everyone, just no matter where you are in your faith, the church is your home, so don't stop going to Mass.
Yeah, and if any of our listeners have stopped going to Mass, maybe this is your invitation to just re-enter, to come back home. I love how you put that, to come back home. And the grace you will receive from Mass is, kind of as you allude to, a saving grace.
Yes, it was. And I knew that most of the time when I was in my 20s, when I was going to Mass, I'm like, oh, I do not have it all together. I'm not, I'm broken, and I'm not perfect in my faith, and there's a lot that I struggle with in my faith, but that didn't prevent me from going. So yeah, and I'm glad I did.
And that's the beautiful truth, is you don't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
So one more question for you.
Okay.
And it's a fill in the blank. Blank, this is my gift.
Being unafraid. This is my gift.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you so much for just being with us today. Thank you for your yes. Thank you for all the ways you have and will continue to help the women here at Given.
Thank you, Samantha.